Hey everyone, welcome to this week's update of Premier Properties. And look, my apologies. At the start of last week, took a little bit longer to get back to people than I normally do, and that was because I actually had my laptop completely carket. And what happened was I actually had to pull out my old HP laptop that had been sitting basically in my room for probably at least 6 or 7 years now. And I mean, it was probably it felt like going back 20 years into the past. It was the slowest thing I've ever done. But look, as a lot of people have reached out to me and said, um, there wasn't much stock actually that was still available last week, and that actually happens from time to time. And the reason for that is a lot of it does turn over quickly, and with what's going on in the market at the moment, I think everyone knows that it is picking up quite significantly, and it's only going to get worse the minute that October 1 deadline comes in. So look, in today's episode, I'll go through a few regions in particular. I'll start with Melbourne because I do actually have quite a bit that's actually come on that I think is all quite of good value. So I'll start with basically I've still got one. I've actually got two in Seddon, believe it or not. Both pretty good homes, 3 beds. One has a car space. I mean, they'll probably rent for around $700 to $750 a week. I think you'll probably get $750 a week for them. Probably picking it up in the low millions for both of them. In saying that, though, one is going to be a lot harder than another to pick up because the competition I was at it literally just yesterday is absolutely fierce. So one's probably a better one to go for than another. In saying that, though, these are in a location that are walkable distance to literally Seddon Village. So it's exactly where you kind of want to own a house in Seddon. So that's two of them. Good for people looking for a long-term kind of set and forget property around that sort of $1 million mark. You'll do very well in that from there. I do still have another one also in a neighbouring suburb of Spotswood that is in one of the best streets. It is a small dwelling, very similar. It's in one of the best streets of the whole suburb. 3 bed, 1 bath, 1 car. Small car, and saying that you're not going to fit a Ram in there. I'll just say that. I should mention that. It's about 250 meters walking distance to the station and the main sort of hub there, which is really good. Probably get around $750 a week rent for this because of how close it is to the station, because of the street it's on as well. So those two ones instead, and the one I got in Spotswood at the moment, are the ones where you'll get probably close to 4% yield, maybe slightly above, slightly below. And you're in a location that does nearly 10% capital growth. So those are sorts of the homes that I go looking for. So that's two of them that I've got, actually three of them, I've got at the moment. I do also then have one in Inner Footscray. This one is a very well maintained dwelling, excellent interior. You'll probably get $750 a week rent for it. And mind you, I think you'll pick it up in the mid 900s. For that in Footscray, it's very good because it's very close to the main Footscray station and very close to Footscray Market. So because of that, what will happen is you'll get tenants very easily because it's right near the town centre, and it's also 3 beds. Actually, 3 beds are quite hard to come by that close to the town centre, so it's very good for that manner. Now, another one I do also have in Footscray is also sort of more to the west of the suburb, so close to Whitton Oval. This you'll probably pick in the low 900s. I think you'll probably get around 700 to 750. I'd imagine in the low sevens for it. Look, very good property in that though. One where I think you won't have to do much maintenance to it either. Parking are plenty on this street too, so it doesn't have a car space, but it is definitely a quieter street. Very good one then in that as well. Good for someone who has a sub 950 budget, because this is one I genuinely think you could probably pick up kind of for that mark. To take it a little bit further, I actually do have two separate ones in Williamstown. I've got one that's actually listed incorrectly. It's closer to the end of Williamstown and closer to the Botanic Gardens there. You could effectively rent this out as a 3, should I say better, but it's listed incorrectly. So, and the agent's just stupid. Agents do this all the time. They don't know what they're doing, to be honest. But anyway, good news for me and my clients. But that property itself, you'll probably get $700 to $750 a week rent quite easily. However, this is good for someone with a bit more money who wants a very high valuation, because this one in particular, you will get a very high valuation on in the future because Williamstown's about 1.6 million. And it's just listed incorrectly. That's all it is. So it's one where I can see you getting a bank value in 12 months of probably 1.3 to 1.4 quite easily. So that's one I've got there. I've got another one that's also exclusively to me, completely off market. This one's right next to pretty much the Williamstown, should I say, village centre, so close to sort of the pier side of Williamstown. Right, I mean, it is literally walking distance to the Williamstown centre and the Coles and that, so it's right by the village centre. You're probably picking this up for a bit more though. It's probably around 1.15 to 1.2 million. It's a small block. It does have 3 beds and 1 bath, and it's got parking on the street, which is quite good. This is one where you'll probably get 750 to 800 a week rent for, but it'll rent very easily because of where it is. So that's another one I've got. It's good for someone who just wants to set and forget because it's very well maintained. And it has very little to actually, you need to maintain it ongoing too. So it makes it very easy for that. Very good property for people, like, as I said, wanting a kind of set and forget kind of property. Like, I mean, you're not going to get much better than that, really, to be transparent with people. To close off in Melbourne, I actually have one in an area that's majorly gentrifying. It's actually cheaper than pretty much everything else. So this one will probably be mid 800s. It's close to Heidelberg. This home, very close to there. It's brick veneer and tile. You'll probably get a 600 a week rent, maybe just 650. I'd probably, mind you, 650 is probably a little bit hopeful. I'd probably say you'd probably get close to 600 a week rent. You're picking up for mid 800s, and it's brick veneer and tile on nearly 600 meters squared though. So something like this will gentrify incredibly, and it's one where I can see it worth a lot in the future, and also one where you could probably put 2 or 3 townhouses on it because Banyule Council is quite development pro, so it's very good for someone like that. So, look, that's my update for Melbourne. I do have quite a lot on there, so and that ranges right from 850 right to about 1.15, 1.2 million. So it's for people with all the budgets I actually recommend, which is really good. Now, look, the next place I'm going to go to is actually Geelong, and the reason I want to go to it is because I do have one right now that's actually available completely exclusively to me off market, and you'll probably pick it up for about $600,000. Now, a lot of people reach out to me and say, you got nothing that's like under 650, like you say, still achievable. And I'm telling you, the reason for that is because I prioritize my clients first, and it's generally bought straight away. That's the reason why you don't see it on these, and they exchange very quickly. But this one's completely exclusive to me. No one else has actually seen it. You'll pick it up for about 600 to 610 grand. It's already rented for about $430 a week. No, it is rented for $430 a week. It's brick veneer and tile. It is on a little bit of a funny shaped block, but the block itself has a massive frontage. So it's still one where you could develop 2 side by side, probably duplexes or townhouses, because I've seen worse blocks done before. It's brick veneer and tile. You don't have to do anything because it's already rented. The market rent would probably be $460 to $470 a week. And to give everyone an idea, it's literally 3 to 3.5 Ks away from the CBD. So it's literally a 5-minute drive to Geelong CBD, and you'll pick it up for 600 grand. So that these will not exist. If this goes to market, they'll get 630 to 650 for it any day of the week, maybe higher. So that's one I have. I expect this to be sold as of probably Wednesday next week to give everyone an idea. So if you're someone looking for that, I'd suggest you reach out immediately because it will sell pretty much straight away. So what else I have in Geelong as well at the moment, I've actually got a very unique one actually in the suburb of Geelong. It's actually 2 houses on one, basically on one sale. You'll pick it up for probably 1.1 million or so, and it is under rented at the moment until March of next year at about, I'd say, probably around the $700 a week mark. But I mean, market rent for that would be probably $850 to $900 plus. So it's very under rented, and that would be a 4% yield too. And it is literally walking distance from the CBD. So it's an incredible opportunity. It's one that you won't come across very often. Maybe 1 or 2 a year you'll come across like this. So 1.1 or probably 1.15 you'll get it for, but it's very rare. So, I mean, this is one that I would personally want to pick up if I was in the market to buy something like that at the moment. Mind you, again, as I said to people, I mean, you're lucky I'm not in the market for this, because if I was, no one would see this. It would be bought by me immediately. So that's another one I got in Geelong. Very, very rare. What I also have in Geelong as well, I've got 2 in East Geelong. So as people know, East Geelong is probably my favourite family suburb of all of Geelong. Both of these properties are 3 by 1, so 3 bed, 1 bath properties. One you'll pick up probably in the low sevens, the other the late sevens. The difference between the two is the late sevens one has rear lane access, the low sevens one doesn't. And I'd argue the rear lane access one as well, that's late sevens, is also probably a bit of a better dwelling, and it's probably in a little bit of a better location. So that's the difference. Both very good buys, mind you. One you will be able to probably get a finance clause, the other not. The more expensive one you probably will be able to, the other not. Both will rent somewhere between probably 550 to 600 a week. So obviously the yield will be high on one, but the capital on the other will probably be better because it's closer to a better pocket of the suburb. So that's the reason one will be better than the other. In saying that, they're both very good buys. So don't let it turn you off just simply because of one being slightly more than the other. They're both very good buys. So those are two that are sub 800 as well in Geelong. I've even got one at 6, and I've got one at slightly above 1.1, not about 1.1 million, maybe slightly more. But all of these deals are very good. Good for people that are looking right now, because I'm telling you right now, I'd be purchasing these as soon as possible if that's you, because it's going to be very hard to pick this up later this year. They probably won't exist anymore. Now, finally, I know I've been a little bit light on my New South Wales coverage, but the property in the Central Coast is about to exchange probably today or tomorrow. So if you're someone who's looking for that, I'd reach out right now. That Central Coast one is a dual income. You'll probably pick up in the low 900s. You get somewhere between $940 to $1,000 a week rent. So generally 5 to 5.5% rental yield. Very good one in that. Very rare. These won't exist for very much longer. But that's my Central Coast update. But I do have a bigger update for Newcastle. So in Newcastle, I've actually got 3 that all make complete sense at the moment. I've got one in a harbourside suburb of Newcastle. It's a corner lot. I mean, you're picking it up probably for the mid 900s, but I'm telling you, mid to probably late 900s. But I'm telling you right now, if you put 20 to 30K into this, you'll get probably $800 a week rent, maybe 750 to be conservative, but I think 800, because I had a client who got 750 a week here on literally the first week pre-market of actually advertising it for rent. And if he had tried harder, he would have got 800 easy. And if you did a reno on this, it would look better. And it's in a better location as well. But to add to this, this is actually a corner lot that, I mean, in this council region, you're highly likely to be able to probably do side-by-side townhouses on it, or possibly even a detached townhouse on it as well. So a detached townhouse here will go for 1.2 million. So, I mean, this is a very, very good opportunity, very rare. And it's actually one that, funny enough, I actually door knocked about 2 years ago and wanted them to sell. But the only reason it came up for sale is actually because it's an estate sale. So that's the reason it's actually come up for sale. And you're lucky that they didn't sell at the time, because I would have probably bought it myself. The other two I've got are, one is a little bit more expensive. It's probably 1.1 to 1.15. However, it's a 4-bedder in one of my favourite suburbs. It needs about 20K worth of work, but you'll get probably 800, probably mid 800s, I'd say, probably $850 a week rent once that's done, if it's on market. And you'll get a val of this, I mean, 1.3 mil plus, I think. I can't see a world where you don't get that, because there's much more expensive sales going down there at the moment, and I can't see where you don't get something like that. So that's one I've also got in Newcastle, very rare. Another I've got is actually a very rare, flood-free completely, block of above 500 metres squared within six or so Ks of Newcastle CBD. This one itself, I'm telling you right now, is probably worth over 1.05 million, I'd say. I reckon you'll pick it up in the 900s in saying that. It does need probably $40,000 worth of work, I'd say. However, what I would do is I'd simply just lightly renovate it, maybe just paint it and probably put a light, should I say, vinyl over the top of it and develop it in the future, because you'll probably be able to put multiple dwellings on this and they'll be worth an absolute truckload in the future as well. So this dwelling is good for someone who wants a land bank and also rent something out to just lightly renovate. So it's got a lot of opportunity here, and you'll probably get, I mean, 750 to 800 a week rent once that's done. You could probably lightly get away with it for maybe even 20 grand if you're only the person who wants to do that. Get in there yourself, you'll get it done for 20 grand. I'll tell you right now for sure. So that's an exceptionally rare opportunity in Newcastle at the moment. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, a lot of these ones I'm mentioning here, I know I've gone through probably about 12 to 15 today. but these will mostly sell all by next week. I'm telling you that right now. They're all very good deals, and it's just been, I guess, the stroke of God who's basically brought all of these to us. So, I mean, I suggest you reach out if this is you and you're really serious. And look, if that's you and you are really serious about getting the market, you want access to all of these properly and the full details and me to actually help you get it done, I suggest you reach out by www.compoundinvest.com.au/inquire. What happens here is it's a simple half an hour phone call where I literally give you a phone call and we discuss what you want to achieve. Like, I'll give you some options and then we formulate a strategy from there. And now, even if you're not serious right now, or you're sort of someone sitting on the fence because, you heard a lot of bad things about buyer's agents, I still strongly suggest you reach out, because I can go through everything with you. I'm telling you right now, your thoughts are probably correct. 99% of people in this field are absolute cowboys. They don't know what they're doing. And the strategy they got is rubbish. So as I say to people, the strategy is even more important than the purchase, because the purchase itself, if you get the strategy wrong, the purchase doesn't matter. You're getting the whole thing wrong anyway. So I suggest you reach out. For those serious, not serious, or just sitting on the fence a little bit, www.compoundinvest.com.au/inquire. I thank everyone for watching again this week, and I hope you all have a great week ahead. Thanks again. Accessing Premier Properties is simple. First of all, go to the main page at www.compoundinvest.com.au. Once you're on this page, go to the menu item, What We Do, and you'll see a link to Premier Properties. Click the link, and from there it will ask you basically to fill in your details and sign up. So you need to put your name, phone number, and email address. Once you have done that, click Submit. Go back out of the website and then go back into Premier Properties. You will therefore then have access to Premier Properties here, by which you can see what's available, the rough capital growth and the rough rental yield of each property. If you're interested in these properties, therefore click Action where it says View More. Once you then click this, it'll show you basically the metrics. Now, to get full access to this, you will need to reach out via Inquire. From there, you will be sent a agency agreement by which we can get access to the property and ideally close the deal for you. Please reach out if any of these properties are of interest to you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks.